In this session, let's learn about default feature. Okay, as part of the Oracle data definition language, we have the ability to assign default values to columns in the table. Okay, what is the advantage of this default feature? Suppose there are certain columns where most of the time their values are defaulted to certain value. In that case, we need to enter the same value again and again whenever we are inserting the data. To avoid this, we can just give a default value for that column and avoid inserting that data every time we insert a row into that table. Okay, here in my customer table I have a column called expiry date where the default value will be December 31st 2099. Okay, if I don't mention this default keyword every time I insert data into this customer table, I insert 31st December 2099. To avoid that, I can use the default functionality readily available. Okay, so the syntax is, once you have mentioned your column name and the data type, so default keyword and the value to be defaulted. Okay, so once you have created the table, whenever you are inserting data into the table, you can ignore the column which has a default value. Here expiry date has a default value. See, you see, I'm not inserting any data into expiry date. If you want to follow the best coding standards and mention all the columns in your table, you can still do that and you can say default. So the default value will be inserted into this expiry date column. Okay, so now let's go and check it out. Okay, so let's create a table customer 1. Okay, and then I'll make it very simple. I'll create customer ID with number and I'll make it customer name with varchar2 of 20 and I'll have a expiry date. Okay, and it is date. This column will most of the time will have a default value of 31st December 2099. So I'll say default. Okay, and the value, if it is a number, I'll just say 20. If it is a character in single quotations, I'll mention the value. Since it is a date, I'll produce a date. Okay, so it is 31st December 2099 comma dd mon/yy. Okay, and close it. So now let me run this. So customer 1 is created. So let me select the data from the customer 1. So no data. So let me insert some data. Okay, so insert into customer 1. Okay, so customer ID. Okay, customer name, and what are the values? 1 comma John. Okay, you see, I totally ignored this expiry date since I want a default value of 31st December 2099. So let me run that, insert it, and then do a commit. Okay, and run it, and then let me see what is there on the table. You see, 1 John and the default value of 31st December 99. Cool, right? Okay, suppose for coding standards you want to still mention the column name, so you can do that. Okay, comma expiry date, and you can say default value. Okay, here default. So let me change this to 2 and let me change this to Raj. Okay, and now let me run this. So I just ran it and then execute the commit. Now let's check the data. So I see the data and you see 2 Raj and the default value. Okay, what if you want to enter a different value? Yes, you can even do that. So just enter that value. So here I want 12th December 2045. Okay, and TDMONY. Okay, so let me change this to 3 and change this to Peter and execute this. Run it and let me commit that. And let me select the data from the customer. You see 3 Peter and 12 December 45. Okay, like this you can make use of the default feature and avoid inserting certain values every time you make an insert into the table. Okay.